Hi everyone and welcome back to Bonnie Astrology. Today we're talking about the new moon in Pisces happening March 10th, 2024, and of course what it means for your zodiac sign. As always, if you do enjoy this video, you can give it a like to let me know you liked it. You can subscribe to the channel for regular astrology content, and if you want to follow me on any of my socials, they're listed in the description box below. So let's talk about this new moon in Pisces. New moons are always times of new beginnings, and this new moon is particularly important because it is the final new moon before we enter eclipse season, and that is where we have to surrender to the fates and let destiny take the wheel. And this new moon is the last chance to set some new intentions for a little while. So this one is a particularly nice time to do so because it is in the magical, mystical and spiritual sign of Pisces. Now, new moons, they are the time we set new intentions. They're also times where we may have a feeling, we may have an intuitive notion to go in a new direction or begin something new. It's very important that if you feel an intuitive feeling taking over at this time, that you listen to it, because it may have something important for you to begin at the time of this new moon. Now, because it's happening in the sign of Pisces, which is the final sign of the zodiac, there is also this contradiction of letting go and surrendering. So you may notice that you're finally, from an emotional perspective, a mental health perspective, or a spiritual perspective, you're ready to surrender at this time. You're ready to let go. You're ready to trust in the process rather than trying to force something to come to the conclusion that you want or force something to be what you want. You may feel like you're ready to let go and surrender to the process of allowing a new beginning in your life, or you may be bringing in this new chapter for yourself and you're surrendering to what that will look like, to the process, and not trying to desperately control the outcome. New moons in Pisces are the perfect time to set new intentions when it comes to mental health, your spiritual side, or even just healing in general. And this can be emotional, this can be spiritual, this can be soulful, it can be mental health, but it can also be in terms of our physical body. The feet, with this being in the sign of Pisces. So some people may find under this new moon that they are deciding to see a chiropodist or a podiatrist, someone who can help them with feet issues, or you may actually feel called under this new moon to invest in a new pair of shoes. But Pisces in its essence is a sign of spirituality. So for a lot of people, they may be under this new moon deciding to commit to a new spiritual practice. This could be meditation in the morning, this could be yoga, this could be reading your tarot cards, this could be seeing a spiritual counselor. It is going to be completely dependent on your own relationship to what you consider spiritual and how comfortable you are dipping your toes, pardon the Piscean pun, into these spiritual matters. So for some, I think it would mostly look like perhaps trying something that is a little out of your comfort zone when it comes to your spiritual side, maybe trying a new healing process. That could be anything really, just whatever it is that you feel called to use for your own healing, because this new moon is going to be forming a sextile to Uranus in Taurus. And it's a very close sextile, so it's very impactful and very supportive of this new moon in Pisces. Sextiles to Uranus can bring about this desire to try something new, to try something novel, to try something original, to shake yourself up and get out of your comfort zone when it comes to this new beginning in your life with the new moon in Pisces. It can be trying something that you've maybe never tried before. It can be trying something with a group of people. Uranus tends to represent teams. And in the sign of Taurus, it can be people who have the same values as you fundamentally, or maybe even people who are in similar financial situations. It can also manifest as an exciting, sudden new beginning in your life, something that you didn't expect, or it can come through a medium that you didn't expect, something that you didn't foresee, something that perhaps you had given up on. And that can be a beautiful thing about surrendering and letting go, because you're not getting in your own way when it comes to the new beginnings that may present themselves in your life. And this can be trying some sort of therapy that is new to you, maybe reflexology, maybe you're getting your first manicure, maybe you're getting a new pair of shoes that are quite unusual, quite funky, quite original with the Piscean element. But it can also represent, as it's a very emotional sign, a very spiritual sign, a breakthrough, emotionally speaking, or from a mental health perspective. And this could be because you're doing something different, you're trying something different, you're opening yourself up to new avenues when it comes to healing and when it comes to well-being. Your dreams, as this is in the sign of Pisces, may also be very crazy and very unusual, but they might give you flashes of intuition and very clear signs of what's going on with you intuitively. And this may actually be a bit of a release that opens you up to change and opens you up to trying something new. Perhaps you have a dream about someone from the past and you realize you're very over that situation, or you realize you've forgiven them, or you realize you've moved on. And this could be something that sets you free, and all of a sudden a new beginning happens in your life. Pisces is a sign without barriers and without boundaries. And with the sextile to Uranus, it feels like suddenly opening yourself up to something new, suddenly trying something without these limitations and these barriers, being open to receiving. And the traditional ruler, Jupiter, is also in a sextile to Saturn in Pisces. So Jupiter's in Taurus, Saturn is in Pisces. So Pisceans and Taurus placements will notice this new moon quite significantly. The Jupiter-Saturn sextile can bring with it opportunities, and they may not seem like likely bedfellows, Jupiter and Saturn, because Jupiter's very optimistic, Jupiter's very open. Saturn can sometimes be perceived as being very restrictive, quite cold. But when these two get together, they both represent wisdom and lessons. So it's a great way to incorporate what you've learned the hard way and see it from a higher perspective, see it from a more divine perspective, and maybe, use the tough lessons to grow something wonderful in your life. Maybe use your tough experiences to create something beautiful for yourself, or channel the wisdom into your new venture. So it's a great time to receive guidance at this time from spiritual mentors, receive guidance from people who are maybe on the same spiritual path from you, but more importantly, to receive it from within. Listen to your intuition, listen to that little voice inside of you that is giving you very clear guidance. You may not necessarily be 100% sure what it means at this particular time, because Mercury will be separating from Neptune at the time of this new moon. So in terms of the facts, in terms of the logic, it's not necessarily so clear around this time. Now, it is interesting to note that while this all seems incredibly lovely, Mars is going to be in a tough square with Uranus, and people can be quite angry, people can be quite aggressive, there can be sudden flashes of anger, sudden frustrations, sudden conflict, and people can be acting quite erratically, quite impulsively, particularly with the Neptune Mercury separation going on. It can feel a little bit confusing. Other people can act in a way they don't necessarily understand why. Feelings of anger can bubble up and you're not so sure why. But Pisces energy is always an opportunity for letting go, surrendering, and forgiveness. It's more passive, it is more fluid, and so you may find that you can forgive others more easily at the time of this new moon. It is reminding me of that quote in the Bible where it says, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." So it is that kind of energy with the new moon in Pisces. Do listen to your dreams around the time of this new moon with so much Piscean energy going on. It is a wonderful time to gain clarity from your dreams, gain a little bit of insight as to what's going on with you and the new direction that you're feeling called to. But also be open to the opportunities that may present themselves for change and to try something new and to get out of your comfort zone, because blessed new beginnings can happen in the most unexpected, unusual ways under this new moon in Pisces. If you're looking to try a visualization for manifestation around the time of this new moon in Pisces, which I suggest you do because this is a great one to set intentions, one of the great things to visualize would be to write, and you're visualizing this in your mind, by the way. Visualize yourself writing what it is that you want to begin at this time. Visualize yourself putting it into a bottle, a glass bottle, putting a cork in that and throwing it into sea. Please don't actually throw a message in a bottle into the ocean, literally, but visualize yourself doing this, surrendering this wish to the vast ocean, and trust that someone somewhere will pick it up, whether that's the universe, whether that's God, whatever it is that you believe in. It's a pretty nice visualization to try under this new moon in Pisces without damaging our actual oceans, because Saturn is in Pisces and we should absolutely be taking our water more seriously. So I'm going to pull a tarot card for this new moon in Pisces and see what comes up, see what the message is. Oh, 7 of Cups. Okay, so this makes sense. Underneath we actually have the star. So this is absolutely an energy of wish fulfillment. This is absolutely an energy of setting intentions. It's just so happening that there is a lack of clarity. For sure. I mean, Mercury and Neptune conjunct on the 8th of March, this new moon happening on the 10th, the separation. Things can feel a little foggy. You may notice actual fog. You may notice that the weather conditions are a bit strange. But you have to have faith in that lack of clarity. You have to trust in your own internal navigation system as your metaphorical fog lights going through confusing times. Trust your intuition, because there may be, with this new moon in Pisces, multiple options are presented to you with whatever new beginning is happening. Not all of them are great. Some of them are snakes, but some of them are absolutely what you want. And this card can also represent where we build castles in the sky. They're not grounded, they're not rooted in reality, and Piscean energy can sometimes be a bit delusional, sometimes it can be a bit rose-tinted. But with Saturn being in Pisces, co-present to this new moon, and Neptune, there is the opportunity to reach for a little bit of grounding, a bit of reality, and to make sure that you have a tangible plan when it comes to any dream that you're looking to begin in life. And if there is something beginning in your life and you're not so sure you can trust it, lean into the Saturnian energy and the Jupiterian energy of lessons, wisdom. What have you learned before, and how can you bring it forward now? That is what I have for this new moon in Pisces. Timestamps are listed below for your zodiac sign. I hope you have a beautiful, blessed new moon. Let me know what you're up to, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Pisces, welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So Pisces, this is happening in your sign, and when the new moon occurs in our sign, it is a personal new beginning. It is a new chapter in our lives. And in particular, if your Pisces placement is at 20 degrees, you're likely to feel this the strongest. Don't worry if your placement is not 20 degrees of Pisces, but if it is, this is an exclamation point on how significant this new moon may be for you. So Pisces, a new moon in the first house can manifest many different ways, but the main way that it manifests is that there's a new intention that you're setting when it comes to who you are. So this can be your appearance. This can be, perhaps with the new moon being in your sign, you're having some sort of image makeover or glow up. Perhaps you're getting a manicure or a pedicure, as Pisces rules the hands and feet. Maybe you're investing in a new pair of shoes. Maybe you're getting your hair done. Maybe you are investing in some new clothes. And these could be perhaps, swimsuits, swimwear with Neptune being in your sign, or perhaps even blazers and office attire with Saturn being in there. But whatever it is, Pisces, it feels like it is looking like a good time to invest in your appearance, particularly as the next day, on March 11th, Venus is going into your sign. And Venus rules all things beauty and aesthetic. You may be starting new personal goals pertaining to your body or your physical health. This may be a new area that you're really committing to with Saturn being there. And it may also be that you're just having a bit of a change of heart in your approach to life. Maybe with Uranus sextiling this new moon, you're feeling a little bit electrified. You're wanting to shake things up. You're wanting to try new things. And it feels as though whatever new beginning is happening for you, Pisces, that is very personal. You may be finding support from a lot of people. You may be finding a lot of folk want to message you, talk to you. Your phone could be very active, your social media. Maybe you're putting yourself out there in social media a little bit more, and you're getting a lot of messages with this new moon happening in your first house of self and being supported by Uranus in your third. And I do think from your tarot cards that you're likely hearing a lot of messages at this time, Pisces, because you actually got the Page of Cups and the Page of Wands. So it feels as though you may be receiving some good news, Pisces, when it comes to a new beginning in your life. Something new could be bringing in a new communication, a new message. Some exciting news could be bringing in a new beginning for you personally. For some of you, it may be romantic. It may be a new relationship. It may be a new love offer with the Page of Cups. For others of you, it may be that you're putting your written work out there. Maybe you're putting your thoughts out there, your mindset out there, you're communicating. Maybe you're getting more involved in your local neighborhood. You have messages to share, especially with 2 pages being here. I feel like communication is quite highlighted with both your chart ruler Jupiter and Uranus transiting your third house of communication. So you might have a lot to say, and you might be finding that you're in the spotlight for speaking your mind or speaking about your interests or what you're studying or what you're learning at this time, Pisces. But you may also find that a lot of people are wanting to talk to you, wanting to communicate with you. Some of them could be romantic, some of them could be creative, and you may find that you're feeling more in touch with your own personal emotions and intuition, and you may find it a little bit easier than usual to express those and also be understood with Mercury separating from its sextile, its conjunction. See what it's doing to me? Its conjunction to Neptune. And this supportive aspect to your Uranus in your third house, you may find it easier to communicate now going forward. But it certainly feels like there might be a lot of people reaching out to you, wanting to talk to you. Your phone could be quite busy at this time, and maybe even for some of you, you're upgrading your phone for whatever would suit you best. That is what I have for you, Pisces, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Aries, welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So Aries, this one is pretty important for you because this is the final new moon before eclipse season. And the eclipses are of course happening in your sign and your opposite sign of Libra. So eclipse season is going to be feeling very energized for you. And before your season, which is eclipse season, it's your 12th house season. This new moon is happening for you in the 12th house. The 12th house is where we retreat. It's where we rest. It's where we take some solitude. We look inward, we sleep, we heal, we recharge, and also we let go. So although this is a new moon, I often find when new moons are happening in the 12th house that we are actually letting go of something. We might be letting go of a particular way of feeling, a burden we've been carrying, some karma that we've been carrying, chapters, cycles. We might be becoming more aware of what it is that we need to release and what we need to let go of. And because this is happening in such a sleepy area for you, you may be finding your dreams are telling you this, or you might just be feeling a bit more intuitive, a bit more psychic, and maybe even a little bit more withdrawn at this time. You might just be feeling a little bit like you want to take it easy. And you could be feeling a bit more emotional too. You might just want some space. You might just want to be at one with yourself and your thoughts, and maybe spend some time in meditation, spend some time in prayer. And you might be finding that what you want to do with this new moon is set an intention for a new spiritual practice, whether that is that you're committing to meditating daily in the morning, taking guided meditations, trying yoga, prayer, perhaps studying something spiritual. Whatever it looks like to you, Aries, will of course be unique. But I think for a lot of you, one thing that would be good around this time would be to take a salt bath and to spend time near the water to heal and recharge and reflect and get in touch with your intuition, and also sort of cleanse yourself spiritually and feel like you're not carrying too much. Because when Saturn is in your 12th house, there can be periods of isolation for whatever reason. Sometimes it can be maternity for one person, it can be a prison sentence for another, it can be wanting to tend to your mental health, it can be so many different things. But you might be feeling a little bit like you want to sit this one out, Aries, and do it on your own, and maybe work on some limiting beliefs that have been plaguing you for a while. And I actually think a lot of you might have the means to spend your money on something around this time that is healing in nature. So whether that is that you're going to see a Reiki therapist, or maybe a literal therapist, or you're going on a meditation retreat, or you're doing something for your mental health, you may have the means to invest in it, or you might just be very aligned with the values connected to it, thanks to the sextile from Uranus in your second house of values, but also money. The tarot card that I got for you, Aries, was the World card, which represents the end of a chapter. So you may feel like you're integrating a lot of lessons from a previous chapter in your life, and you're ready maybe to let go of a particular way of doing something that feels repetitive, something that's been maybe going round and round for a while. You're kind of ready to stop it. You're ready to change it. And because this is the 12th house, it does represent long distance travel. So that can be where you're traveling quite far. Maybe some of you are deciding you're going to plan a trip at this time. Maybe some of you are going to take a long distance voyage. Say, for example, you live in Ireland. Maybe you're wanting to go to Australia, or say you live in France. Maybe you're wanting to go to the United States. You could be planning a long trip away somewhere. And it might be because you have, as I say, with Uranus in the second, the financial means to do so. You could have some unexpected payment, unexpected money coming in. You could have changed up the way that you make money, and you could be noticing the benefits from that. And perhaps you have more means to take a trip somewhere you really want to go, or at least plan it, Aries. That is what I have for you. I hope you have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Taurus, welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So Taurus, this new moon is pretty social for you. This is all about friendship. So along the time of this new moon, you might be renewing a friendship. With this being a new moon, you might be connecting to a new friendship. You might be finding that friends are at the forefront of your mind and you're deciding, do you know what? I want to spend more time with my friends. I want to connect more with my friends, maybe connect more deeply with friends. This is a water sign after all, Pisces energy. You might be wanting to connect with people who are spiritual in nature, connect with people who are perhaps healers. These could be the type of friends that you're making. And of course, on the dark side of this, you have to be wary of making friends with people who are maybe escapists or addictive, but that is the lower vibration of that energy, and it's not necessarily so indicated by this new moon. I'm just making you aware that that can sometimes happen. But the way that I see this really happening for you, Taurus, is maybe it's particularly social. You know, you could be out and about, you could be connecting with new friends, you could be reaching out to friends. You know, this new moon is sextiled by Uranus in your sign, so you're reaching out, you're wanting to connect, you're making plans with friends, you're reaching out to people, and you're also maybe more open and you're having these breakthroughs maybe with your friendship groups or the type of circles you want to run in, or connecting with people online. Networking is very advantageous for you at the moment, and it's a great time to set a goal in these particular areas. But truthfully, Taurus, it's a great time for you to set any kind of manifestation, because this new moon is happening in the 11th house of wishes. So if you have a particular aspiration in mind, this is a great new moon to meditate on it, manifest it, focus on it, put some attention towards it, and start planting the seeds for it to happen. And you know, you can plant seeds for something you want. It doesn't necessarily have to come about the way that you're planting seeds. So it's just that you're putting out the intention and the energy that it's something that you want. So whatever it is, Taurus, you might be finding ways to attract to you the very things that you're hoping to attract to you, especially with Jupiter being in your sign. You know, you're lucky, you're blessed, you're growing, you're feeling more optimistic, you're feeling more open, and you will have, no doubt, a beautiful way of connecting with others around the time of this new moon. And I think you could be very well received by the people that you reach out to, the groups that you join, the circles that you run in. There could be a new team you're taking part of, a new group, but it does look like a very social new moon for you, Taurus. Now, your tarot card was the Temperance card, and this is all about it's all about alchemy, and it's all about balance. So it feels as though perhaps, Taurus, you are seeking more balance in your life. You're maybe connecting with people who have different opinions, and you're finding this kind of, or a different way of living, and you're finding the opposite effect, the opposites of it quite pleasant. You may be connecting with people who are a bit different to you and finding that your differences are blending together quite well. I also feel with this being a Temperance card and it being a new moon in Pisces, and Pisces being associated with alcohol, some of you may be deciding to join circles or meet with friends for sober events, or focusing on sobriety, or maybe even just simply focusing on people that want to help you heal, people who want to take a more peaceful approach to life, friends that bring peace to your life rather than chaos. Taurus may be something you're focusing on at this time too. That is what I have for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Gemini, welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So Gemini, this is happening at the top of your chart in your career sector. So for you, Gemini, since Saturn entered your 10th house last year, you've probably taken on some additional responsibility when it comes to your career, when it comes to your professional life, when it comes to maybe even your public image, your long-term goals. For some of you, that could have been a status change. You could have been getting more responsibility, or you could have been taking it more seriously. There's likely been a lot of hard work involved when it came to your career, and maybe some tough lessons as well, with Saturn being there. This new moon is a chance for you to have a bit of a reset professionally, and a chance for renewal, and to set some new goals for yourself professionally. This is a great time to figure out what it is that you want to do next when it comes to your career, when it comes to your public image, how you want to be seen by the world, how you want to be known. So maybe for some of you, you've decided you want to pursue a particular goal that's going to change your title, or maybe you're deciding that you want to get a certain role within your particular department. Maybe some of you are deciding to go self-employed. Maybe some of you are deciding to start a new job altogether or move into a new industry, Gemini. But it feels as though with this new moon, it's very supportive, believe it or not, because supported by the work you've been doing behind the scenes. It feels like a lot of you with Uranus transiting the 12th may have had unexpected breakthroughs when it comes to your spiritual development, when it comes to your healing, when it comes to perhaps letting go of old ways of feeling, old ways of, your old belief systems. And it may have been quite rough at times to let go of certain things. It might have been a shock to have your perspectives changed. It might have been a shock to let go of certain things that were within your comfort zone. But for a lot of you, this is really making you into someone that I think you could be quite proud of. And you may have encountered with Uranus being in your 12th house unexpected losses at times. But at this particular point with your career, you may actually find that some help is coming in from behind the scenes, or help is coming in from places you didn't expect, sources you didn't expect. And because Uranus in your chart, Gemini, rules your 9th house, this could be your belief systems changing. This could be help from people who are very learned, help from people who are very knowledgeable, or just your own personal development in these areas. But I feel for a lot of you that there is a pretty nice new chapter beginning career-wise, and it's a great time to set some intentions, Gemini, on what it is that you want to achieve next. This is a new chapter for you, and whether you're working or not, this is a new chapter when it comes to your public image. And you may actually feel like, for some of you, perhaps something you're letting go of is freeing you up for more time to do things that you really want to do. So maybe for some of you, you're retiring and you're finding, okay, I get to spend more time with my kids. Or maybe you're finding you're going part-time and you're saying, I get to spend more time working on the car that I like to work on, or, just examples. But maybe for some of you, you're finding that, just letting go of a certain way of looking at things is freeing you up to achieve more that you want to achieve, or set goals for yourself that maybe you didn't see possible. Maybe you had limiting beliefs before that stopped you going for something you really wanted. And your tarot card is actually the Two of Wands, charting a course. So this is opportunity, visualization. I did mention a visualization in the segment of the video where I discussed the new moon, so you might want to watch that. But this is all about future planning and considering your options. It's also worth noting that while you may be making plans for the future in your career, there could also be a new boss or authority figure steps into your life, or you may be taking a new role or position of authority, Gemini. That is what I have for you. I'll talk to you soon. Hi Cancer, welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So Cancer, this new moon is happening in your 9th house, and this is the house that rules travel. It also rules higher education, higher belief systems, philosophy, and also rules legal matters. So there may be a new beginning happening in one of these particular areas for you at this time, Cancer. I think for a lot of you, you could be taking or planning a trip, a vacation, to travel somewhere new, to study somewhere new, or it could be that you are going to begin a new course of study, maybe a degree, maybe a master's, or there may actually just be a topic that is really taking your interest at this time, Cancer. And we also perhaps have a new legal development happening at this time as well for some of you, if only a select few. But some of you may be more interested in topics of philosophy, higher belief systems, or even law itself, or foreign cultures. Now, this new moon is supported by Uranus in Taurus. So that could be that if you're planning a trip, you're planning it for the future. The 11th house is the future. Could also be that you're planning it with friends, or to meet friends, or to go on a group trip, or to meet like-minded people. It might also be that if you're taking a new course, you might find it's a very social course. You make a lot of new friends, you make a lot of new social connections, and you find yourself engaging with very interesting people. Or it could be that if you're studying something new, likewise, just on your own personal time, you may find that online it's connecting you to a lot of new like-minded people. Maybe you're joining a forum on something that you're studying, or you're connecting with people on the internet on what it is that you're looking into. Cancer, but it does look like it's a really nice time for you to plan a trip or to study something that really interests you around the time of this new moon. Now, your tarot cards were interesting. We have the Hanged Man, which is all about having a new perspective. So for some of you, it feels like with this happening in your 9th house, you might be starting to see things a little differently, seeing them from a higher perspective. Maybe you're feeling a bit more optimistic. Maybe you're getting some clarity, you're having an aha moment, an epiphany, and you're maybe just, for some of you, actually experiencing a bit of an awakening at this time. And the other card that I got with it is actually the Autumnal Equinox card, which says prepare for change and making long-term plans. So I think maybe some of you are planning to take a trip to a foreign location in the future, or you're planning to study something that maybe is going to take a long time. Maybe you're going to study it. It's going to start its course in the fall with the autumnal equinox, or the equinox in the fall could be quite significant for you. I do believe that if you're in Australia, if you're in the southern hemisphere, the autumn equinox is actually March this month, so it might be a significant time for some of you in terms of a perspective change or studying something new. That is what I have for you, Cancer, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Leo, welcome to the new moon in Pisces. So Leo, this is happening in your 8th house, and the 8th house is incredibly taboo and mysterious. And so when we have a new beginning happening in the 8th house, a new moon happening in the 8th house, we often find that we can be a bit more drawn to the mysteries of life and the more taboo subjects. So for some of you, you might be finding yourself incredibly interested or drawn to a conspiracy or a mystery or an investigation. You could find yourself very drawn to a psychological matter, an astrological matter, tarot readings. You might just find yourself very drawn to one of these topics in particular. And this might be something that is it could be something that is being flagged to you from your work. You could be talking to someone in work and they could tell you about a podcast they listened on, a true crime matter, and you're suddenly finding yourself really invested and looking into the psychological components of it. Or you could find yourself very drawn to perhaps seeking a tarot reading or an astrology reading from a professional for some of you. Or you could be thinking of adding some new service to your career, because this new moon is sextiling Uranus in your 10th, and we have Jupiter there. So when it comes to your career, you're probably changing things up quite a bit. Things could feel a bit unstable or shaky at times, but there's a lot of opportunity for growth and more exposure with Jupiter being in your 10th as well. And I think with this new moon, Leo, you could find yourself absolutely in the spotlight. But perhaps you're finding yourself drawn to those in the spotlight that are involved in mystery and taboo and things like that. Or you're maybe even putting mysteries out there on the internet for other people to delve into. But this can also play out absolutely financially, because this is happening in the 8th house, which is shared finances, shared assets, shared property. So you might be getting a loan or a mortgage, or you and a partner might be doing these things together, or there might be a new beginning in your partner's money, your partner's assets, and that's affecting you, Leo. So there could be some joint matters going on at this time. And you might also find yourself very attracted to somebody new with a new moon in the 8th house, Leo. This could be someone that you work with, or someone who has similar goals or a professional life to you as well, if you're looking for that. Your tarot card was the Hierophant, which is to do with religious traditions. So rulers, leaders, right and wrong, programming, conforming, institutions, conventions, marriage, values, and faith. So for a lot of you, I think perhaps you could be getting a loan or a grant from the government, or some sort of assistance from an institution, or you could be finding that maybe there's a new beginning financially when it comes to your marriage or your marital status, Leo. So that is what I have for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Virgo, welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So Virgo, this is happening in your 7th house of relationships. And it looks like there's a new relationship on the horizon for many Virgo risings. Now, this does not have to be romantic. This can be, of course, it can be a romantic relationship. It can be a new partnership, but it can be in business. It can be a new best friend. But you may find yourself connecting significantly to someone at the time of this new moon. And it feels quite exciting because there is a sextile coming in from Uranus in your 9th house. So this means that the person you're connecting to could be somebody who's maybe from a different country. It could be someone who has perhaps a different belief system to you. It could also be someone who's maybe quite well educated, or through university, higher education, or even church or religion, Virgo. But it feels like this new relationship is quite exciting. There's something quite original and novel about it, whether it is romantic or whether it is business, someone that you're working on a project one-on-one with, a new manager maybe, a new business partner. It just feels like someone is entering the picture, Virgo, that is quite exciting because of their differences and because of their knowledge and because of their education. You could meet someone while traveling, or you could be perhaps, if you're into manifestation and you're looking to manifest someone new in your life, you could be manifesting someone that is an intellectual match, or someone who is well traveled, someone who is adventurous, likes to travel, someone who is a bit original, because Uranus is there. And it feels as though this is going to be quite exciting. If you have a partner already in a romantic sense, a significant other, a spouse, you might be deciding that it's time to book another trip or plan a vacation. With Saturn being in your 7th house, Virgo, you may be actually planning a honeymoon or planning an engagement, or perhaps going abroad to get married. But it feels like you could be finding that travel is in some way related to your relationship life. So whether that is you have a new business partner who's from abroad, whether it is you're planning a honeymoon, whether you're meeting someone who's from a different country, it feels, Virgo, as if there is a new beginning happening for you that is exciting and new. And if you don't notice anything around the time of this new moon, do set intentions for what it is that you want when it comes to your relationship, your significant other, or a new partnership in your life. Because your tarot cards are actually kind of funny. We did get the new moon card, which does say timing 1 month or the next new moon. So I feel like for whatever is manifesting, Virgo, it might be kind of quick. It is a new cycle. It's a good time to set your intentions. But we also had the 6 of Swords, which says better times ahead. Tranquility, overcoming hardship, conflicts resolved, becoming stable, restoration and peace. So maybe for some of you, you're restoring a relationship in your life, or things are going to be a bit more peaceful, particularly with Venus going into your 7th house, a bit more peaceful in attracting a relationship that makes sense for you. That is what I have for you, Virgo, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Libra, welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So Libra, this new moon is happening in your 6th house, and this is a great time to set intentions when it comes to your health and your fitness. So under a new moon in the 6th house, people often find themselves joining a gym, signing up with a personal trainer, beginning a workout plan, beginning a new diet, getting their intolerances tested, really focusing on their health, maybe getting some health checks in place, maybe deciding that they have a particular health goal for themselves. Whatever it is, Libra, this is often a time where health is your main focus, and probably where you're setting significant new intentions and planting seeds. Now, for a lot of Libras with health and fitness, the water can be very beneficial to you. So maybe you might enjoy swimming as an exercise, walks on the beach, walks along the riverside. These type of things might be the best for you when it comes to your health, because you have a Pisces 6th house. Similarly, focusing on drinking more water and paying attention to what it is that you are drinking, but also noticing where you're maybe drinking too much of something. That can actually happen too with water, so just bear that in mind, Libra, when it comes to your health and your well-being. Now, we also have a new beginning here happening in your work life. Now, you're being called, I will say, to take work a little bit more seriously. Saturn is in your 6th house, so taking your health more seriously, taking your work and your services more seriously, with Saturn being there, because when you don't, it can have karmic consequences, and when you do, it can have great reward. So perhaps you're setting a new intention when it comes to your job. Maybe you want a new job. Maybe you're starting a new job. Maybe you want a new role, a new title, and you're getting organized and figuring out how to go about that, Libra. You might have a new service to add to your business as well. But really, it looks like you're getting organized. Some of you may even find yourself getting a new pet. at this time, because the 6th house rules pets as well. You could find yourself getting a new animal friend. And interestingly, your tarot card was the Sun and it has a horse on it. So I'm kind of thinking maybe for some of you it's a horse. Or you might just be spending more time with animals at the time of this new moon. Now, the Sun card is about radiant energy, happiness, energy, freedom, optimism, positivity. For some of you, this could also be surrounding children. Maybe you're deciding you want to work with children, or if you work with children, there's a new creative venture perhaps in your work, or you're starting a new project, or perhaps you're working with children or you're studying to work with children. But it may also be that matters surrounding your own children are coming up at this time as well. Though it looks with this new moon, as it is quite well aspected, you're maybe feeling a bit more optimistic, a bit more hopeful about a new chapter in your life, Libra. That's what I have for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Scorpio, welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. Scorpio, this new moon is looking like a lot of fun. This is happening in your 5th house of love, play, joy, romance, fertility, creativity, self-expression, your childlike spirit. And so this new moon is looking quite joyful, particularly as it's well aspected from Uranus. Now, this could be for a lot of you that perhaps there is a new romance on the horizon. This could be for others of you a pregnancy, or this could be a new beginning for you creatively. Maybe you're working on a new creative project. Maybe you're beginning a new creative process. There's something you want to bring into the world. Maybe there's something you really want to do for fun. This is a great new moon to go out and have fun and enjoy yourself, because you can meet very exciting people thanks to the sextile from Uranus in your 7th house. You might find yourself meeting a new romantic interest, a new best friend. You might find yourself meeting a creative collaboration. Or for some of you, you might just be feeling the joy, feeling the abundance, feeling the fun, and indulging your childlike spirit and finding a like-minded playmate, someone who's the same sense of humor as you, someone who has the same expressions as you, someone who does the same things for fun. But it is a great new moon to go out and have fun, enjoy yourself, play, be silly, and perhaps allow a little bit more love and romance and joy and laughter into your life, Scorpio. This can absolutely be for some of you a new romantic relationship because of the connection between the 5th house and the 7th. Uranus transiting your 7th can sometimes feel as though relationships, one-on-one relationships, aren't always necessarily so stable. You may find yourself attracting people who are quite freedom loving or don't like to be pinned down, and at times maybe you can find that they are a bit elusive, but it can also be unexpectedly meeting people and unexpectedly connecting with people who are a bit different to your usual type, or people who just seemingly come out of nowhere. And this new moon may be one of those times where you just find yourself connecting with someone out of nowhere. And your tarot card reflects this as well. Well, your tarot cards, because we have the 2 of Cups and the Fool. So this can be a new partnership that is spontaneous. It can come through spontaneous events. There can be a new beginning in your relationship. Maybe it's a bit more romantic, or you're taking more adventures together. You might attract someone who's quite carefree. You might take a risk on a new relationship, meeting someone new. But it feels like for a lot of you, there could be a new relationship that comes out of nowhere. It doesn't have to be romantic, though. It can be a best friend. It can be someone to collaborate with creatively. Someone that really sparks that joy and that spontaneity within you, and it feels like a lot of fun, Scorpio. That can absolutely be something that's happening for you at this time. So you may find yourself really connecting to somebody else, whether it be a new best friend, a new romantic relationship, a new business partnership. It's someone who you're very in sync with. And it looks like it could be a new person in your life that maybe comes in out of nowhere. Someone that you didn't know before, and someone who feels like a real companion, someone that you're on the same level as, Scorpio. This may also be that you're starting a new creative project with someone, so maybe someone who is quite freedom-loving, carefree. They don't care what other people think, and this could be something that is setting off that energy within you as well. That's what I have for you, Scorpio, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Sagittarius, welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So Sagittarius, this is happening in your 4th house, which means that there could be a new beginning happening in your home. regarding your living situation, regarding your roommates who you live with, or with your family. So this may be for some of you that you're moving. For others of you, this might be that you are actually setting intentions on what you want in a home, what you want in a property. I feel for a lot of you it could be quite significant and long term because Saturn is in Pisces at the moment. So maybe you are putting a down payment on a property, maybe you're deciding to renovate or even build a home with Saturn being there. Perhaps you're laying down foundations of a home. And maybe for some of you this is a new beginning within your family, so could be a new addition to the family in the form of a baby, or someone is marrying into your family, or perhaps there's just a new chapter when it comes to how you relate to your family, how you deal with family matters, maybe. Sagittarius. And it can also be that maybe you're beginning a new self-care routine, focusing on looking after yourself a little bit better, maybe focusing on your own emotional wellness, taking care of yourself, what comforts you. There could be something new coming into your life that is comforting. So maybe a new duvet. Pisces is associated with sleep. So perhaps for a lot of you, you're doing up your bedroom, or you're investing in new bedding or a new bed, or you're making your bedroom a more pleasant place to sleep, a more pleasant place to retreat. For a lot of you, Sagittarius, I do think when it comes to your living situation, there could be some change in terms of how you work. So maybe some of you are moving to work remotely from home, or you're changing up your home office, or you are perhaps changing up and getting everything organized within your home, because there is a sextile from Uranus in your 6th house. The 6th house is to do with organization. So you could be cleaning out your home, reorganizing things, getting dividers, folding things properly if they really need it. If things have gotten decluttered, you can find yourself perhaps wanting to have a structure, wanting to have more organization in the home, or perhaps changing up your home office, or with Uranus in the 6th, maybe you're changing up the computers and the gadgets that you have in your home office, or maybe you're even removing gadgets, TVs, things out of your bedroom for more, conducive rest. It might also be that you're moving to be closer to work, or you're moving to change your commute, or maybe you're just wanting your home to be a bit more healthy, so stocking up your fridge with healthy food, perhaps even adding a home gym or more exercise equipment to your home or property, Sagittarius, because of that connection to the 6th house as well. Now, your tarot card was the Queen of Swords, which is mentally strong, candid, quick-witted, fair, direct, chatty, realistic, quirky, and sharp. The downsides of the Queen of Swords can be harsh and pessimistic and critical. So it's also to do with gossip. There could be some gossip in your family or surrounding home property matters. It's good if you're dealing with people when it comes to property to be very direct and realistic. Saturn is in your 4th house. You have to be realistic, but focusing on being fair when it comes to communication. I do think that perhaps you're having to be very mentally strong, maybe with a renovation or maybe with a family matter, and you're having to be quite realistic and direct. You may be finding yourself in that role, or you could be dealing with a family member or roommate who is embodying Queen of Swords energy. That's what I have for you, Sagittarius, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Capricorn, welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So Capricorn, this is happening in your 3rd house. So we have a new beginning happening in your 3rd house. For some of you, this could be a new car that you're getting. For some of you, this could be a new phone, a new gadget, a new laptop, something that you can use for communication purposes, maybe for your work. For others of you, this can be a new beginning when it comes to your relationship with a sibling, when it comes to your relationship with a cousin, an aunt and uncle, or maybe your relationship to your neighborhood. This can also be a new interest of yours, or a new way of thinking or processing information. So for some of you, sometimes what happens with a new moon in the 3rd, especially if we have outer planets transiting the 3rd, we can come across a book or a podcast, sometimes quite serendipitously, that changes our perspective, it changes our life, it gives us information that's very important. And I think for a lot of you, there could be a sudden breakthrough when it comes to your mindset, or when it comes to the information that you have. Now, this could come through, thanks to the sextile of Uranus in your 5th, it could come through someone you're dating. It could come through a passion project of yours, a creative project, a creative hobby. It could even come through a child. A child could literally say something to you that changes your mind and gives you a breakthrough and an epiphany in terms of the way that you're thinking. You could also have some news coming up surrounding a child in your life if you have them, or it could be a new beginning when it comes to maybe a sibling or someone who's maybe a bit more extended in your life, like a cousin or an aunt and uncle or even a neighbor. Something that they're doing could be coming up as significant around this time because it is in the sign of Pisces. Maybe it surrounds the healing that they're doing, or perhaps they're taking a foreign voyage, or maybe you're traveling to see them or traveling with them. But it feels, Capricorn, like this may be a new opportunity to think differently and to change your mind on something, and that could bring about a new beginning. Now, it's important to remember that with Saturn being in your third house, when it comes to the way that you think, there can be a tendency with Capricorn placements to be quite pessimistic at times, or to be quite, I suppose, realistic and pessimistic are different. But sometimes pessimism can be veiled as being realistic, when in reality there's no real reason other than a superstition that something will always go wrong. That is actually superstition. That's not based on reality, to believe that something always is going to go wrong or it's never going to work out. So you may be changing your mindset. You might be challenging your thoughts. You might be reading more, listening to more podcasts, finding yourself more chatty as well, having more conversations. And with Venus moving into this sector the day after this new moon, there's a lot of room for improvement when it comes to your neighborhood relationships, when it comes to a sibling, or when it comes to a cousin, etc. Or when it just comes to your mindset and taking care of your own way of thinking, because that does tend to influence how we feel as well. But for some of you, you might be beginning a new interest. Some of you could be starting a podcast. Some of you could be deciding that you want to attend classes or even, lead classes. The third house is where we would see workshops. It's where we would see day classes rather than, higher education. So maybe you're attending a day class, maybe you're attending a workshop that is going to really excite you, that you're feeling very passionate about. And you might even find yourself, if you're single, meeting someone that is worth dating. You might find yourself meeting people who are interested in the same topics as you, have similar communication style. You might even find yourself attracted to people for intellectual reasons. It might also be that if you have children, as I say, there's important news surrounding them, particularly perhaps a new beginning when it comes to their schooling, when it comes to their everyday education. Capricorn. So we have for you as a tarot card, the Seven of Coins, and this says good things take time. And it is this pregnant lady holding a basket of fruit, apples to be specific. And this says perseverance, long-term view, coming to fruition, harvest, ripen, investments, and patience. So with Saturn having a co-presence of this new moon, it is important to be patient. Changing your mindset can take a lot of time and a lot of practice. Learning something new can take time and practice. You don't have to rush anything with Saturn being there. You might just have to be quite patient with the process. Some of you could also be taking trips that are short distance, so maybe over the state, maybe trips that are maybe a couple of hours away in the car journeys, train journeys, those type of things. You could be doing that under this Pisces new moon, and if you are, it will probably be a lot of fun thanks to the connection to Uranus, and will probably be quite exciting as well. That is what I have for you, Capricorn, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Aquarius, welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So Aquarius, this new moon is happening in your second house, and this is all to do with your money. This is to do with your finances. And so perhaps for a lot of you, there is a new beginning coming when it comes to how you make money, what your prices are, what you charge for your services, what your income is. These things could all be changing. Similarly, the work that you do on a day-to-day basis could be changing as well. With Saturn being in this sector for you, you're probably becoming a lot more financially responsible. It is quite common when you have Saturn transiting the second that you have a lot of responsibilities that you have to pay for, a lot of financial obligations, usually long-term ones where you're investing a lot of money into something. perhaps something material. It can also be a time when you decide that you want to take a more minimalist perspective. You don't want to have so much stuff, so you declutter. And these could be things that are coming up for you at this time, Aquarius. But they could absolutely, this new moon is a great time to manifest financial abundance, set new intentions when it comes to money, when it comes to your income, because it's more likely to manifest, particularly as we have a sextile from Uranus. Now, Uranus being in the 4th house, you may be spending money on your home, and the financial investments into your home could end up around the time of this new moon. You could feel like, oh, this is actually quite exciting. I love buying this for the home. I'm really enjoying decorating this, redecorating that. You could actually feel quite excited and inspired when it comes to your home. Or it could be that perhaps you're being unexpectedly gifted some money from a family member, or you find money in the home, maybe that you had hidden and you forgot about it. Maybe you find 20 quid in your coat pocket or something like that, unexpectedly finding money in the home. But I do think for a lot of you, this looks like you could be perhaps purchasing new things for your home that make you excited. You love the change, you love the decor. And for others of you, it could just be that you're getting your finances in order so that maybe you can buy a home, or maybe that you just have more financial security for the future. But either way, Aquarius, it looks like money is the main focus of this new moon for you. And you may also find yourself coming up with new ideas and ways of making money from the home, whatever way that looks for you. Your tarot card was the Knight of Swords. And this card actually says seize the day. So I think for a lot of you, you might have an intuitive idea when it comes to making money for yourself that you're going to implement. You're going to start a new way of making money. This card actually says Maverick. So this could be trying something completely new. You may be feeling a bit impatient with the process, but the reminder from Saturn in Pisces at the moment is always to practice patience. It could be a very tough lesson for you at the moment when it comes to finances or when it comes to material changes. But this is also saying daring, witty, and blunt. And with the sextile to Uranus, you may be finding yourself a bit more open to risks. Uranus is your modern day ruler. And the fact that it's sextiling this new moon means that you have ideas, you have original ideas, thoughts, you have inspired changes coming from within you. And it is actually quite a good time to start implementing them and making the changes that you want to see. I also do think that this is a reminder to not spend money so quickly. If you see something you like, you don't have to buy it right away. You can go away and think about it. And if it is meant to be yours, it will still be there when you go back, if you've decided you absolutely need to have it. Saturn in the 2nd. So you may find that you need to slow down a little bit at the time of this new moon, Aquarius. But that's what I have for you, and I'll talk to you soon.